What the fuck was that, yo?
Frank, what is that?
Yeah, my first impression of the Blue Ghost Tunnel. When I first went there, they didn't even have the stone wall and the steel door yet. It was actually open, and I actually captured my first ghost pic there on my first day going there. So my first impression of the Blue Ghost Tunnel was it was freaky. You know, I go inside the tunnel. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. There's no train tracks. You can't get there by car. And it's a far walk, you know, through some bush. And you got to follow this path that takes you eventually what looks like to be underground, because you kind of twirl around on the path and you go down underground, and it is underground. This tunnel goes underground, and it's just eerie, especially at night. It's very eerie. Like, it's scary. When I first got there, I was scared, 100%. And you know, as you're inside, it's just it's an old tunnel. You know, you can kind of hear water dripping and stuff like that, and there's bats in there, so that kind of scared you. But I mean, it's scary at nighttime. Daytime, it's not scary at all. Honestly, going down there in the daytime's easy schmeezy. It's the nighttime that's the scary part. But even at night, if you go down there, it's not that scary. Like, we've gone there and nothing's happened at all. But first impression, yeah, it's pretty eerie.
Yeah, my first impression of going to the Blue Ghost Tunnel, I was kind of nervous because before we went there, we did a lot of research and about the history behind it all, and we looked up how many people have died there and everything. And you know, I was kind of nervous going there. You know, it's out in the middle of the woods, like Frank was saying, and you know, it's quite the hike down there. You get over there, and you see the wall there. Like, the first time I went there was a wall up. So, you know, there's a wall with a door with a gate on it. So you walk up, and like, even like when you're opening up that door, it's got that creaking sound, like that horror movie, the eerie noise, you know. And you walk in, and it's just black, pitch black, nothing but darkness. I remember, like, when I first went there, I wouldn't even go in there by myself, you know. Like, I refused to. It was pretty freaky, you know. Like, you hear all the stories. Like, I remember watching Creepy Canada when the psychics were on there, and they were saying that there's evil entities in there.
This 700-foot passage is known as the Blue Ghost Tunnel. Though the tunnel is off the beaten path, those who venture there are rarely disappointed. A paranormal research group volunteered to perform an investigation of the Blue Ghost Tunnel. they brought 2 experienced psychic mediums and an array of night vision cameras and electronic detection equipment. The mediums sensed the spirits of the 2 engineers who had died, although they were not told about the train wreck prior to entering.
Did you get anything about an accident?
I do get the sensation of those 2 men. One is bleeding on his face, the other one has blood on his outfit, his clothes.
I just had my 3rd flashlight. The bulb just burnt out. I've been having problems with my infrared thermostat tonight for some reason. I've had 2 camera batteries go dead on me, and that doesn't usually happen. Supposedly spirits drain power from batteries, although at this point in time I've never experienced that.
They're not happy that we're here this late. There's something else down here. It is not human. There's some kind of energy that comes over here at night. Like I said, this is its spot. Comes rushing through the tunnel. I see this big black thing, ugly looking face just flying through the tunnel. Screaming, running right at us.
So right away that's in the back of your mind, and then you hear all these stories from back in the day that there's like a train collision in there and everything like that, and a conductor lost his life. So you going in there, you got that in the back of your mind. It's already like you're already kind of freaked out, you know. So my first impression, I was definitely pretty freaked out and kind of scared. That's for sure. Yeah.
Anthony, the night at the Blue Ghost Tunnel, when we heard that growl.
You dropping 54. What the fuck was that, yo? I heard that. Negative 25. You heard that too? I heard that, yo. I heard it. What'd you hear? Bang.
And you guys thought it sounded like a bang, but because I had my, you know, the intensifying the sound, I honestly heard a growl. And upon playback, we've both kind of agreed that it might be a growl, something like somebody going, something like that, right?
54. 54.
So we're at the back of the tunnel, and I remember there was just ice. It was wintertime, and the water was dripping. And we were taking temperatures with the temperature gun, and the temperature was first taken at 15 degrees, and we kept putting it in the same spot over and over again, and it kept dropping. It dropped a total of 45 degrees within 15 minutes, and we thought that was quite interesting, but we started getting bored and pointing the temperature gun at each other's faces. And then after we hit the temperature gun a bunch of times, we heard a growl.
54.
I'm not even saying it's a growl, but it's some type of noise I never really heard. You know, and people on YouTube have suggested it could be the wind. I'm not saying it's not, but I just don't see it being the wind. We're in this tunnel, underground, you know, 40 feet in, so I just don't see where the wind would be coming from, you know, like it would. I don't think it was wind. It was something else, and I think it was actually a spirit reacting to us not paying attention to the temperature drop. That's just my own opinion. And when I heard the growl, these two automatically thought it was just a bang. So I asked them, I'm like, what'd you guys hear? And they're like, a bang. I'm like, man, okay, I didn't tell them, because if I would have told them I heard a growl, most likely we would have been, you know, running out of there. And I wanted to man up and see if I could get some more activity. The video quality isn't that good, but we have captured some strange orb phenomenon.
The banging that we've been hearing down at the end of the tunnel, and it had stopped for a while until we started talking about approaching this area again. As we got closer, it started to bang again, almost as if it was telling us, yes, just come down this way.
I've heard some pretty crazy footsteps going on. It caused a big debate between Anthony and I, for sure. I mean, we must have sat here arguing. It took us 4 years to figure this out, and I'm not kidding around. But there is indeed we have both agreed that there is definitely footsteps happening in this one clip. I once again have the headphones on, and I can hear footsteps, and I'm telling the boys to make footstep noises so I can compare it to what I thought I heard, you know.
Don't walk, hear footsteps. Look, Sam, you get a word. No, make a step each. Okay, no, step.
Just so I can like visually show you guys where I hear these the steps. I'm just gonna wave my hands when I hear the sounds where we're not moving, and I'll layer it on top of the video. All right, so
don't walk.
I'm starting it now.
Look, Sam, you get a word. No, make a step each. Don't walk.
That other one was Anthony.
Look, Sam, you get a word. No,
Yeah, I actually remember that night pretty perfectly because, like you said, we've had like a long discussion about this, big debate about this one. I remember when we walked in there, I was stepping in mud, and so the first initial bangs, they couldn't have been from us because Adam was standing still and I was stepping in mud. So there's no way that a loud bang could have came from me. But then like later on you'll see in the video, I move up a bit to where Frankie's standing. And over there was a little bit dry, and he tells us to bang, and then that's where I start banging my feet, right? So the first initial bangs, there's no way it could have come from us because we were standing in mud. There's no way that you could hear a loud bang when you're stepping in mud. It would sound like squishing. It would be like when you're stepping in a puddle.
Don't walk, hear footsteps. Look, Sam, you get a word. No, make a step each. Okay, no, step.
It's the second set of bangs. Let us know in the comments section with the time frame on, so you can comment in the comments section. Let us know what you think. This is where the debate lies with him and I. Is that second set of bangs? He's saying it was him, and I'm saying it wasn't him. I don't know, but let us know what you think. Other things we have actually captured in there were electric voice phenomena captured on the video camera audio. By the way, guys, a rule of thumb for us, from what we've learned, you never, ever, ever whisper on a paranormal investigation. Ever. Because most EVPs come in the form of whispers, and trust me, there were times where I've whispered on investigations and it was mistaken for an EVP and later figured out that that was actually me. So you never whisper. So ever since, you know, in my early days, as we started to go more and more, we don't whisper. So when we capture whispers, we know 100% it wasn't us because we did not whisper. Is there anyone here? We've captured a girl when there was no girls in this thing, and the Blue Ghost Tunnel is out in the wilderness. Like it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and we capturing little girls in this dark tunnel with no girls in there saying, "Run from me."
Yeah, a lot of another good experience that we've had when we were in the Blue Ghost Tunnel is while you're in the deep of the tunnel, if you stay in there long enough, you can actually hear the noise of a train. Two trains actually collided in the tunnel where a conductor actually lost his life. So that's kind of pretty amazing how when you're in there you can actually hear a train. We've actually caught that on tape too. Yeah, you know, like a couple amazing things like that. You know, like it's something definitely unexplained. Like how could you explain that? That thing's been out of order for years now, but yet at night you could hear the sound of a train in that tunnel. I think that's pretty amazing.
I do 100% think that tunnel is haunted. We've captured EVPs. We've captured ectoplasm.
I see that. Frank, what is that? Is that you? I see that. Frank, what is that? Is that you? I see that. Frank, what is that? Is that you?
I've physically seen ectoplasm with my eyes on the hill before. Quite interesting sight. I'm the only one who saw that. But yeah, I mean, we've captured it on camera, like photography. We've captured orbs, and it's a pretty cool place to go. Now, the next place our ghost story goes towards is in Hagersville, Ontario, right beside Giant Tiger, 11 King Street West. Is it west? Now, this place is said to be an elderly home / disability home type of thing. Because I remember as a kid walking around, there were some kind of loony people that would, you know, come out of the place. The one guy, his wife died on the train tracks or something. So every day, or it was his son that died on the train tracks. This guy would come out pretty much every day and just stare at the train tracks. Poor fella. And I don't know. It just seemed like a place that was for elderly, but you know they seemed kind of like something else was wrong with them. I could be wrong, but there were deaths in there, and even abuse.
It's got that look of like that horror movie look, you know. It freaks you out as soon as you see this house. It's all boarded up and everything, and then you enter through the basement, and it's just like, whoa, you know, this is even worse than it looks, you know. You walk in there, and it's just like, whoo, this is freaky, you know. And
people going in there and doing stupid things like vandalizing the place. We just wanted to go in there and see if it was haunted. We didn't even hear it was haunted. Alright, so this is how we used to get in. It's right here. Wouldn't be hard to get in again. Just gotta pry that open, but yeah, that wasn't boarded up when we used to come in here. Also, this leads to the basement. Like, I mean, when you go into this house, it's 3 stories high, including a basement, so that's, you know, four stories to investigate on, if you want to count the basement. It's a big house, and when you go in this place, okay, even though there's a lot of vandalized stuff in there from people partying or whatever they've done in there, kids going in there, but everything's still there. All the tables are there. There's still clothes there. There's still phones there. There's still fans there. There's still everything there. It's like almost like everybody had to get up and leave. So I found that quite strange and a little bit eerie, to be honest with you. And during our investigation going through the house, we would find all types of different things. We found nurse journals. We found people's family possessions, photos, mail, bank records. It was quite strange. Like I said, it was abandoned for at least 10, 11, 12 years before we went in there, and it seemed like people still lived there. And wow. So anyway, moving along, might as well start this story off how I was just talking about we would find papers around there. Well, what do you know? We're down in the basement. It's me, Anthony, and Nick.
Yeah, so we walked into the basement. We were actually getting ready to leave. We walked into the basement, and right at the bottom of the stairs, there's this washing machine. And there, like Frank said, there was a bunch of papers on this on the washing machine. So me and Nick were sitting there, going through all these papers. He's standing on, I think, the second last stair. So he's kind of got a little bit of top view above us there. And I don't know, we're standing there going through all the papers, and all of a sudden, we actually didn't hear nothing. We didn't hear this until upon playback. But actually, while we were looking through the papers, there was actually an EVP that says, "That's my papers," as we're looking through the papers. That's pretty crazy, I gotta say myself, to have that happen to us while we're in there actually looking through a set of papers that, you know, these nurses were, you know, writing about these patients, and then we get this EVP that says, "That's my papers." That's pretty eerie, yeah, that's for sure. And then actually, as that happened, I remember you'll see in the video, Frank actually turned and actually ended up catching an orb in motion as he turned the camera.
After we found the papers, I saw this orb or something fly by in the screen. And let me tell you guys, I didn't see anything with my actual eyes. I only saw it through the camera lens. And I'm like, oh my God, I see an orb. I look at this freaking orb, and I tried following it, and it literally does a backflip like this. Just like this, guys. I mean, can dust do that? I don't know. I mean, tell me, can dust... I'm sure it can, but I mean, that didn't look like dust. It even left like a tail as it was going. And dust, like, usually when you see dust, they don't look like that.
Whoa, saw something. Dios! I swear I just saw something. Yo, like Hey. Whoa, saw something. Dios! Whoa, saw something. Dios!
After we found all the papers and stuff, we were walking around in the basement. It's kind of a big basement. And we walked to this one section of it where there's this bunch of this wood kind of covering this doorway. It leads into a whole different room. And we were checking that out, and while we were standing there, I just had this like really weird feeling like we were just being watched. And like I was just standing there, and I told Frank, and I was like, yo, I got this really weird feeling. And he's like, oh yeah? And I was like, yeah. And I walked away. And as I walked away, he seen on the camera lens, this orb came flying from behind me.
Weird down here, man. You feel weird?
Oh, no.
Yeah, what way? Yo, that was... Yeah, what way? Yo, that was...
That had to have been one of the craziest experiences I've ever had in that house, because that same night, as that happened, when I had that weird feeling, I actually seen an apparition standing in the corner, leaning up against one of the pillars, watching us. Now we weren't able to catch this on video, which I really wish we could have, but I guess that's just one for the books for me. But like that had to have been the most scariest time I've ever had in that house.
Another place in the basement was quite interesting. We set up the camera on a spot filming us. Wow, I don't know. Anthony had this one orb come down. It almost looks like it touched his face and went back up. Some people would say that that is a bug. It is my opinion that it wasn't a bug. It looked like something else, but you guys can give us your opinion for sure. You know, if you think it's a bug, let us know.
In my opinion, like I was standing pretty close to the camera, so if it was a bug, in my opinion, being that close to the camera, you would be able to see that it would have like a little bit of wings or something like that. You'd be able to see the form of a bug, and like you'll be able to see, like you can't see that. It just looks like a ball of light. So for it being a bug, I honestly don't think that it was a bug.
Now this orb kept coming around and around. It would come across Anthony. It would like kind of come down like this and then go away. A really cool appearance it did was when it came over Anthony's shoulder. Now that was pretty crazy. I don't know. We didn't physically see it with our eyes, but we were looking at the camera and we could see it through the camera lens, through the screen.
Just looking, eh?
Ask something. See if I can see it. Do you work here? Do you sleep here? Oh, I just seen something. Came down by Anthony. Got one. Another one that just went right back up near your face.
Can you tell us your name, please?
You sleep here? Oh, I just seen something. Came down by Anthony. Got one. Another one that
Now moving along, we went on to the main floor. So we went into the living room, and we managed to capture a large orb fly around us. Afterwards, we caught an EVP that says, "I'm stuck."
I don't know. We always caught shit in this room. Let's go over here.
over here.
Yeah.
Go through this way.
Okay, be careful. Sit down. Let's just sit and chill here.
Just move over a bit.
What was that? Tell him to sit down. Turn the light off. Let's just sit and chill here.
Just move over a bit.
Sit down. Turn the light off.
So after the EVP comes in the footage, obviously we didn't hear the EVP while it happened or whatever else we caught, but we caught a vortex of energy twirl around in front of the camera. Let me tell you, another thing that we do is we do not smoke during paranormal investigations, and we make sure we do breath tests to see the thickness of condensation. And let me tell you, there was no condensation that night, and we weren't smoking. And just so happens there's this twirling smoke in front of the camera that just appears after the EVP. So I thought that was quite strange. You know, another incident was pretty freaking crazy. We are in the one hallway, and I got, once again, the headphones on. And the headphones... It was raining that night, so it was a bit of a bummer for the footage, but we're going to share this with you anyway. We were trying to establish communication with the spirit because we've gone so many times and we've had experiences and we've captured phenomena on camera, so we're straight up trying to call it out. So I'm like, Anthony's like, show yourself, do a bang, and all you hear is it go exactly like this. And after that, we heard some dragging.
Can you come and talk to us, please? We know you're here. We've caught you a number of times.
Yeah, coming down this hallway.
You know where we're standing. We know you're here. All we want to do is talk. Give us some signs, some bangs, some voices. Make the room colder, or whatever. Do something.
We know you're here, don't hide from us. I heard a knock down there. Was that you? Can you give us another knock, please?
When I was saying that, I had a fucking weird feeling.
I heard the
my face. You gotta remember, there's water and shit here.
Yeah, I heard a death.
I got a weird feeling behind me.
What do you hear?
I don't know, man. Something weird.
Like something being dragged?
Breathe. All we want to do is talk. Give us some signs, some bangs, some voices. Make the room colder, whatever. Do something.
You know you're here, don't hide from us. I heard a knock down there.
Whatever, reach man.
What do you hear?
I don't know, man. Something weird.
Like something being dragged?
When I initially heard it, from where I was standing, it kind of sounded like breathing. You'll actually hear me say that on video. But like Frank was saying, he was wearing the headphones, so to him, he could hear it a lot louder than we could. So to him, he heard the dragging. And upon Black, I actually agree with him that it does exactly sound like someone is dragging something, possibly a chair or I honestly don't know what it could be, but it does sound like someone's dragging something. And like Frank was saying too, like it was raining, so it is kind of hard. Like I'd honestly suggest wearing headphones.
And one day we decided to leave our camera in there all by itself, and we captured amazing footage of what I think is ectoplasmic energy in vortex form. You could kind of see it being a little bit plasma, like electrified. And you can see it literally move up into the screen and grow. You can see it actually, let me go a little bit back. You can see it twirl up from the bottom of the screen to the top. You can see it grow, and then you can see this static electricity, and it just, you can hear banging. It's almost like that was causing the banging.
And my opinion on the ectomist or the vortex, or I'm not even too sure what to call that. Like, in my opinion, it almost is like it's like a little tear in the fabric of our universe. It's just like a hair slice that like just barely fractures, and it's like I don't even know how to explain it. Maybe I'm going a little too far here or something. I don't know.
Sign. Let's go in. Just take, man, we took like 200 pictures and only like 4 of them are good.